With the title in mind, if you're watching this, you probably aren't consistent in the gym and you're looking for a secret way to be more consistent. You wonder how people are so consistent, how people go 6 times a week without fail. You wonder how there are people like me who haven't missed a day of gym in months. You wonder how people can do that. You wonder how people can go every single day and it won't even be that bad for them. And you may be going sporadically. You may plan on going 6 times a week and you end up going 3 times. You may plan on going 5 times and you end up going twice. Either way, you are not consistent, and that is why you're watching this video. Whenever people talk about inconsistency in the gym, the standard diagnosis is, you're just not disciplined enough, so you need to be more disciplined. Now they tell you to be more disciplined is by being more disciplined. Like, it doesn't make sense. People will tell you to create a routine around it, to do it at the exact same time every day. Essentially, what they're saying is to fix your indiscipline, be more disciplined. Like, it doesn't make sense. Of course, it's a simple way of saying it, but it doesn't make sense. What people don't realize is that a lack of discipline isn't the root problem. It's a symptom of an even bigger problem. When you ask, how can I get rid of my lack of discipline? And people say, be more disciplined. It's like they're treating the symptom but never the root cause. The root cause will always be there if you always try just treat the symptoms. Lack of discipline is a symptom of mindlessness. You'll never be able to get rid of the lack of discipline unless you tackle the mindlessness. I've only been consistent in the gym for about 13 months, but I've been trying to be consistent for the last 3 years. I'll tell myself I'm going to gym 6 times a week. I'll tell myself that I have to exercise today. But then I'll be mindless during the day. And when it was time to go to the gym, when it was time to exercise, I wouldn't even be aware of what my mind was doing. I wouldn't even be aware of the thoughts that I was entertaining, the thoughts that would push me not to exercise, the thoughts that were justifying, those thoughts where it's like, you might as well gym tomorrow because it's already 4 p.m. And if you gym now, you've already used 8 hours of energy, so your workout won't be as good. I wasn't aware of those thoughts. I wasn't aware of the BS justifications that my mind was trying to give me. And because I wasn't aware, because I was mindless, I was accepting everything as an absolute truth. And then last year in February, I started watching more self-improvement content and I saw people talking about meditating and improving your mindfulness. And then I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to do this for my mental health. But I promise you, as soon as I started doing it, there's like a direct correlation between my meditation practice and how often I went to the gym. The more I worked on improving my mindfulness, the more consistent I became in the gym because I was aware of the stupid excuses I was giving myself. I was aware of all the times where I would just try to justify using a stupid reason that in the past wasn't as stupid as it seemed now, since I was more aware. So now that we know that mindlessness is the root cause of your lack of discipline in the gym or your inconsistency, you may be asking, what causes mindlessness? The biggest cause of mindlessness in our generation is short form content. You see, when you go on TikTok, you go on YouTube, you go on Instagram, essentially every single app, even Twitter, because Twitter, you're just looking at one tweet for like 10 seconds and you go on to the next and you go on to the next. All these apps, all these forms of short content, they're training your mind to only pay attention for like 2 seconds. Because the truth is, the average video will probably be 10 seconds. You don't watch the average video. You probably watch the first 2 seconds and you scroll. So you're training your mind to pay attention for, let's say, max 6 seconds. And you're constantly switching between different forms of stimulation. You'll be on TikTok and you'll be like, I haven't seen a good TikTok in a while. Let me go on Instagram. You go on Instagram, stay there for 5 minutes, and you go on Snapchat and Twitter. Then you keep on recycling, you keep on going through this process, and you do this for like 5 hours. You're training your brain to not pay attention. You're training your brain to have the attention span of a goldfish. And what this does is your brain is always looking for the next thing to pay attention to. It's always looking for the next hit of dopamine. Your brain is searching for the next thing to pay attention to. It can't pay attention to the thoughts inside your mind. So this leads to mindlessness. It leads to you essentially just being half awake the whole day. You'll be fully awake, but you will never be fully conscious because of how much mindlessness is in you. And the way to counteract mindlessness is to be mindful. Being mindful is essentially just being aware of your surroundings, being aware of your thoughts, aware of your body, aware of what is happening with TJ! Aware of what's happening within your vicinity. I'm sure you're aware of this. 99% of the times you don't go to the gym, it's not because you don't have enough time. It's because you talk yourself out of it. And this process, it doesn't happen in like 10 seconds. It doesn't happen in like 30 seconds. It's this whole 30-minute thing where you're slowly talking yourself out of it. But because you're not aware of your thoughts, you won't be able to realize that, you know what, this process is happening, and it happens for 30 minutes. The process starts when you start thinking, do I actually want to go to the gym? And then you'll be like, yes, discipline is the way. Discipline is the key to all success. But then another thought to come, is discipline really the key to success? If I miss today, will it really matter? And you allow all those thoughts. It's not even like 5 thoughts, it's going to be hundreds of thoughts. And all those thoughts will slowly break you down. But you won't even know what's going on. You won't even know that those thoughts are coming from your being that is so content with being mediocre, that is so content with being comfortable all the time. It's coming from that part of you that does not want to grow because it finds comfort in being where it is now. But then you won't be mindful enough to notice what's happening. You won't be mindful enough to notice that inner turmoil that's happening. And you'll succumb to it. You will be like, you know what, that's actually a valid reason. I shouldn't gym today because it's 4 p.m. and I've already used 10 hours of strength. So I'm not going to gym because the workout won't be as good and I'm better off going tomorrow. And it will genuinely make sense in your head. But deep down inside, you'll know that I'm selling myself short. You'll know that you lied to yourself. You know that you didn't go to the workout when you weren't supposed to. So even though it may seem like a logical reason in your head, you will not feel proud of yourself. You'll be a shell of a man. You will be a shell of a man knowing that you break the promises to yourself, that you don't follow through. The best way to counteract all these thoughts that you're going to have, all these thoughts that cause you to be inconsistent, is to simply ask the question, is this the truth? When you have the thought that it's already been 10 hours, so I might as well go tomorrow because my workout won't be good. You ask yourself, is that true? Is it better to skip my workout today so that my workout tomorrow will be better? You have to ask yourself with every single statement that comes. You ask yourself, is this true? When you say that it's too late, I might as well work out tomorrow. Is that true? Is it better to skip a workout on Tuesday so that your workout on Wednesday is better? When you're actually ready to work out. You will find that most excuses are just false justifications. And the more mindful you become, the more capable you are at dealing with these thoughts, at breaking them down and seeing that, these are just utter rubbish. And since you know that the way to tackle all of this is to become more mindful, you may be wondering, how do I become more mindful? There are 4 ways that I can think about in terms of becoming more mindful. The first one, which everyone knows, is meditation. Meditation is essentially focusing on one thing. It may be your breath. It may just be observing your thoughts. It may be a passage in the Bible. But essentially, you're focusing on one thing. You're giving something all your attention. And what that trains you to do is to just be aware. The second thing, which people don't normally talk about when it comes to improving your mindfulness, is long-form content. What I mean by long-form content is like reading books, podcasts, anything that isn't extremely stimulating, but you have to pay attention to it for 30 minutes to an hour. Third thing is spending time in nature. When you go in nature, it forces you to be present. You're connecting to the greater part of the earth. I don't know what it is about nature, but whenever I go in nature, whenever I sit outside, I instantly become more present. As soon as I go indoors, it's like, all these thoughts come, all the mindlessness, all of it comes. But as soon as I step outside, as soon as my feet are touching the grass, things are so much better. My mind is more at peace. There are less thoughts going through my head, and I'm more present. The fourth thing I can think about that will improve your mindfulness is talking to people without your phone. So this would be having a conversation with your dad without looking at your phone, putting your phone in the other room and talking to other people, because that forces you to pay attention. Essentially, you can improve your mindfulness through any activity that forces you to pay attention to one thing. If you're still watching this, you may have been thinking, how is meditating going to help me be more consistent in the gym? But I promise you, and I'm speaking from my experience, that fixing my mental health, specifically my presence and my mindfulness, is the best thing that happened for my gym.